So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And hi. Okay. So basically, today I'm going to cover lecture 2 and lecture 3. So the second lecture and the third lecture for vector. So we are going to learn about, so last week we have already learned about the scalar product. So today I'm going to proceed with the vector product and then the application of vectors. So we are going to get the equation of the line. So ada dua benda lah hari ni. Satu untuk cross product, satu lagi equation of the line. Okay, so I actually want to proceed, but I can see we have around 16%. So perhaps I'm gonna wait until we have around 30 before we start. So far, dengar okay? Dengar okay ke? Ada masalah apa-apa tak? Saya rasa macam dia macam kurang clear lah kat sini. You guys macam mana? Oh, dengar sekat-sekat ke? Dengar clear je ke? Macam mana? Dengar okey je? Oh, perasaan je lah. Tak apalah. Hai. Oh, ramai budak T1 masuk lah. Okay, so now 26. Never mind, let us start so that we can go very slow and then we can finish them. I do think that we might be able to finish everything within 1.5 hours. So let's see. 1.5 jam. Boleh kot? Go, go, go. Okay, so today we are going to learn the vector product, or vector product is also known as the cross product. So last time we have learned about the scalar product or the dot product. So scalar is the dot product. Scalar is the dot product, and then this one is the cross product, or sometimes we call them as the vector product. Excuse me. Okay, so at the end of the lesson, which is for the first hour, so you should be able to find the vector product. So how to calculate the vector product and how to use the properties of vector product. So we're going to see a few properties of the vector product, and we have one question on the properties of vector product. So basically how to use that properties. And then to find the area of parallelogram as well as a triangle. So parallelogram bahasa Melayu dah apa? Not sure. Can't remember, but something that looks like this. So this is parallelogram and then a triangle. Okay, next. Okay, so the vector product. The vector product of two vectors is a vector which is perpendicular to both the original vectors. Okay, so if theta is the angle between A and B, then A cross B is equal to the magnitude of A, magnitude of B, sine theta, and then we have a unit vector over there. So the unit vector is a unit vector in the direction of A cross B, or the unit vector is actually A cross B over the magnitude of A cross B. Okay, so the vector product is perpendicular to both the original vectors. So what does it mean is that if we have A over here and then we have a B over here, so to move from A to B, we are going upward. So this is A cross B. So what do they mean is that A cross B should be perpendicular to B, and it will be perpendicular to A as well. So it should be perpendicular to both A and B. Okay, so vector A cross B is perpendicular to both A and B. So like my sketching over here. So this is A cross B. So A cross B need to be perpendicular to the vector B, and A cross B will need to be perpendicular to the vector A as well. Okay, next. the vector product of A, so if let's say we say A is A1I plus A2J plus A3K and B is B1I plus B2J plus B3K, so this can be expressed as the determinant of A and B. So A cross B is equal to I, J and K, so A1, A2, A3, so this is vector A. B1, B2, B3, so this is vector B. So this is how we are going to calculate A cross B. So we are going to take the determinant of vector A and vector B. So to take the determinant, we are going to expand along the first row. So deleting first row, first column, minus deleting first row, second column, and then delete first row, third column. And then we're going to take the determinant for the 2 by 2. Okay, so the first one, if we are deleting the first row and the first column, we are going to get the determinant of A2, A3, B2, B3. So A2, A3, B2, B3. So determinant of this for I. So determinant for a 2 by 2, we are going to take A times with D minus with B times with C. So A times D, so it's supposed to be A2, B3 minus B2, A3, and then we're gonna write down I. And then minus, so if we delete the first row and the second column, so deleting the second column, so we are going to get A1, A3, B1, B3. So this is for the J. And then again, AD minus BC. So A1, B3 minus A3, B1. And don't forget, this one should be a minus because we are supposed to have negative 1 to the power of us J. So kalau tak nak ingat, biasanya kita letak plus minus plus lah. Okay, and then the last one. So we are deleting the first column and the first row and the third column. So first row, third column. So we are going to have something like A1, A2, B1, B2, and then we have a K over here. So AD minus BC, so A1, B2 minus A2, B1. So this is for the K. So that is basically how we are going to do A cross B. So we're going to write down those determinant form and then we are going to delete the first row, first column, first row, second column, first row, third column, and then we're going to take the determinant for the 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, so example 1, given that A is equal to 2I plus 3J minus 2K and B is 4I minus 2J plus with 3K. So the first one, let us find out what is A cross B. Okay, so do make sure to do those determinant I, J, K, and then since you are having A cross B, so A first, B in the last line or the last row. Okay, so I, J, K, so the vector for A, so 2I, 3J minus 2K, B is 4I minus 2J plus with 3K. And then we are going to expand along the first row, so deleting first row, first column, and then minus, deleting first row, second column, plus deleting first row, third column. So we need to delete the first row. So always make sure deleting first row, first column, that one will be this one. First row, second column, the second one. First row, third column, that one will be the last one. And then of course you need to calculate the determinant for a 2 by 2. So A, D, B, C. So we are going to get 3 times 3 minus negative 2 times with negative 2. And then after we calculate what is that value, we're going to times them by I. And then this is 2 times 3 minus negative 4 times 4, negative 2 times 4. And then this is 2 times negative 2 minus 3 times with 4. Okay, so we got 9 minus 4 minus 6 plus 8 plus negative 4, negative 12. And then of course, you should try to simplify them. So it will become 5I minus 4J minus 16K. So this is the answer for A cross B. Okay, so one thing that you should keep in mind is that A cross B will have to be perpendicular to both A, and A cross B will be perpendicular to B as well. So ini adalah definition lah. A cross B. A cross B must be perpendicular to A. A cross B must be perpendicular to B as well. Okay, so this is how we calculate A cross B. So let us proceed with the properties. Okay, so what are the properties of the cross product? Okay, so properties of vector or cross product. So if A and B is a vector, M is a scalar, then A cross A is equal to 0. 0 vector. So that means if you have any vector, as long as you are cross with yourself, it will be equal to 0. So this one, you can actually see them the determinant. If we have the same row, then the determinant will be equal to 0. So daripada properties of determinant lah. If we have the same row, that means the determinant is equal to 0. So if you have the same vector, A cross A, that one will be equal to 0 with a vector. So that means 0i, 0j, 0k. So the same thing will happen if let's say you have A plus 2b, and then you cross them with A plus 2b. So as long as you are crossing with yourself, it is supposed to be equal to 0. So any vector multiplied or crossed with itself, it will become 0. So that is the first property. The second property is that if we have A cross B, that is actually equal to the negative of B cross A. So that means we are changing the direction. So this is A cross B. So A cross B going up, B cross A is going down. Okay, so we are changing the direction. So A cross B is equal to negative of B cross A. And then if you have some constant multiplied with the vector A, so MA cross B, so that is similar with taking out the constant first. So taking out the M, and then you do the cross for A cross B. Or what you can do is that you take out the constant and then you times them with B, and then you do A cross with MB. Okay, so if we have a constant, we can actually move it here, 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 and there. So if we have a constant, we can bring it everywhere. Okay, next. If let's say we have A cross with B plus C, so this one, when you want to try to expand them, you should be very careful. We are doing A cross with B plus C, so when you expand them, you should always write down A on the left hand side. So be extra careful because A cross B is not equal to B cross A, so be careful with that. Okay, so it's supposed to be A cross B and then plus with A cross C, so we can actually expand them like that. Another one is that if we have A plus B cross C, so if you want to expand them, so this is A cross C plus with B cross C. So do make sure who stay on the left and who stay on the right hand side. Okay, so now the next one. If let's say we have A dotted with B cross C, then what you can do is that you can actually do A cross with B first, and then you dot them with C. So they are equal. The next one is that when you want to change from everything with a cross into something with a dot, okay, so A cross B cross C. So this is actually equal to A dot with C. So this one we're going to get some scalar, and then we're going to times them with the vector B minus A dot B. So again, this is some scalar, and then you times them with the vector C. And then the last one, A cross with B is equal to 0 if A and B are parallel to each other. So basically, if A is parallel to B, then we can say that A cross with B is equal to 0. So it's supposed to be a 0 vector. So don't forget those tilde or those signs. So jangan tertinggal sign tu lah. Okay, so we have learned about the properties of vector product. So perhaps let us try to apply them in one question. Okay, so the vectors A, B, and C are such that B cross C is equal to 3i. So we have one info over here. And C cross A is equal to 2J plus K, where I, J, and K are unit vectors, of course. Express A plus B cross A plus B plus 4C in terms of I, J, and K. Okay, so what do you need to do is that we have to start from A plus B cross with A plus B plus 4C. So we're going to start from here, and then somehow we need to obtain B cross C as well as C cross A, because that is the only thing that we know, the value. Okay, so perhaps let me give you a few minutes for you to try first, and then let us see whether you get them right or not. So I think I better give you around 4 minutes until 4:20, so until 20 past 4. I'll give you around 4 minutes for you to try to expand them and try to see whether can you substitute B cross C and C cross A or not. Okay, so 4 minutes starting from now. Go everyone, you can do this. Go. Siapa yang dah dapat jawapan tu boleh lah kalau nak tulis kat bahagian chatting tu. Tak adalah kebosanan sangat. Ada yang dah dapat jawapan? One more minute to go. Right, so it's already 4:20. How is it? Semua orang dapat jawapan ke? Did everyone get what is the answer? Ada yang dapat? Or should we wait until someone get the answer? (12i minus 8j minus 4k). Okay, so there's a person who tried to give their answer. So thank you, Aisha. The next person? Anyone get the same answer? I guess it's too much of a hassle to write down everything kan. Macam payah sikit sebab you guys are using your phone, right? Okay, never mind. So let us go to do this example slowly. Of course, I'm talking about me lah. I need to go slowly. Okay, so A plus B plus with A plus B plus 4C. Okay, so what you can do is that you can try to expand them one by one. So you can do A cross B, A cross 4C, B cross A, B cross C, B cross 4C. So that is one way to do it. So what I will do is the shortcut of that. Okay, wait ah. Okay, so for me, what I will do is that I'm gonna group A plus B together. So I will do A plus B cross with A plus B, A plus B cross with A plus B, and then A plus B cross with 4C. So that is basically what I will do. So A plus B cross A plus B plus A plus B cross with 4C. And then as you can see, you have a vector cross with itself. So this is actually referred to the first property of the cross product, where if we have a vector cross with itself, the value is actually equal to 0. So that means I know this one is actually equal to 0. So that means I only need to expand A plus B cross with 4C. So we are going to expand A cross 4C, B cross 4C. So I take out the constant outside. So I have A cross C plus B cross C. Okay, so based on what we have the value for B cross with A. The value of B cross A. Salah lah. Tersasa. Okay, so we don't have the value for A cross C, but we have the value for C cross A. So what I will do is that I'm going to flip them and then write down the negative in front. So we only have A cross C, C cross A, so the negative of that. And then B cross C, I have the value, so that means I can actually substitute the value for B cross C. So C cross A is 2J plus K, B cross C is equal to 3I. So it will become 4 times with the negative of 2J plus K, because we have to flip A cross C to become C cross A. And then B cross C is simply equal to 3I. You expand them and then you will have 12I minus with 8J minus with 4K, which means Asha and Farha get them right. So very good. Okay, done. Next, the area of parallelogram and a triangle. Payah gila nak sebut dia. Parallelogram. Okay, a parallelogram is a flat shape with opposite side parallel and equal length. Okay, so we have side A and B. So if this is A, this is also A. If this is B, this one is also B. Okay, so the area of the parallelogram, that is actually equal to the magnitude of A cross B. So this is not the modulus, it is a magnitude. So we have to calculate A cross B first. So calculate the value for A cross B. Once you know what is the value of A cross B, then you simply take the magnitude of A cross B. So the magnitude is the one with the square root. And then we are doing something like x square plus y square plus z square. So those are the magnitude. Okay, so if let's say we have a triangle, then the area of the triangle is half times with the magnitude of A cross B. So again, we have to find out what is A cross B, find its magnitude, and then you should times them with 1/2. Okay, so be very careful. So A and B are actually the side of the triangle. So same thing with the parallelogram. Those are actually the side of the parallelogram. So it's not a diagonal. So diagonal tu yang belah dalam So this is a diagonal from one vertex to the other. So those are the diagonal. So this one we call them as the diagonal. and then A and B are actually something called the side. So for this formula, we are actually using the side. So kita guna yang tepi-tepi lah. Kita akan guna vektor yang dalam. Okay, next. Find the area of parallelogram which side u equal to 3i plus j plus 2k and w is equal to I minus 2j minus 2k. Okay, so the side is u and w. So that means in order to calculate the area of parallelogram, we have to know first what is the value of u cross with w. Or you can do w cross with u. It doesn't really matter, but normally for me, I prefer u cross with w. Biasanya saya akan ikut huruf apa yang datang dulu lah. Okay, next. Right, so u is equal to 3i plus j plus 2k. W is I minus 2j minus 2k. So now we need to calculate u cross with w. Okay, so we're going to take the determinant of u and w. So I, j and k. So u is 3, 1, 2. W, 1, negative 2, negative 2. And then in order to calculate U cross W, we have to expand along the first row. So firstly, delete first row, first column, first row, second column, first row, third column. Okay, so deleting first row, first column first. So deleting first row, first column, we are going to get 1, 2, negative 2, negative 2. So this is for the I. And then minus the j, deleting first row, second column. So we are going to get 3, 2, 1, negative 2, j, and then plus for first row, third. First row, third column. So those are 3, 1, 1, negative 2. So this is for K. So I, J and K. And then you're going to do AD minus with BC. So we have negative 2 plus with 4. For the I, negative 2 plus 4 minus. So 3 times negative 2, so negative 6. And then minus with 2 times 1, so negative 6, negative 2. Plus 3 times negative 2, so negative 6 minus 1 times 1, so minus 1 then. So negative 6, negative 1. Okay, and then of course we should simplify them. So let me erase this so that we can see them much more clear. Okay, so we're going to do negative 2 plus 4, I, and then negative 6, negative 2, calculate them first, times with negative 1, j, and then negative 6, negative 1, k. So it will become 2i plus 8j minus with 7k. So in order to calculate the area of the parallelogram, I have to know what is the magnitude of u cross v. U cross w. Okay, so let us calculate its magnitude. Okay, so this is equal to the square root of 2 square plus 8 square plus with negative 7 square. So the area of the parallelogram, so now you can use your calculator for this. So this is actually equal to 10.8 unit square. So this is area, so that's the reason why we are using something with unit square. Or you can leave them inside the set. That will be fine as well. Kalau tak boleh simplify, kita tinggal dalam bentuk set lah. Until the simplest form. That is fine as well. So this one I'm using some decimal, but if you want to, you can leave them with a set. Okay, done with this one. So let us proceed with the next one. I think that's the last part, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so example 4. Given the point A, so A is 1, 2, negative 2, B, 2, 4, 6, and C, negative 4, 3, negative 1. Find the area of the triangle ABC. So you have 3 points. So perhaps A over here, B over here, and then C over here. So we need to calculate the area of the triangle ABC. Okay, so if you look at the previous formula, so it's supposed to be half, and then the magnitude of U cross with V. So what is the U and what is the V? So U and V is actually the side of the triangle. So for example, A until B, so this one you can actually define them as the U. A until C, that is actually the V. So kalau kita define bawah ni U, atas tu V, then kita boleh gunalah U cross V. Okay, so this one I'm not going to use U cross V because that one might be a little bit confusing. Sebab tiba-tiba je kita tukar huruf nampak macam confuse sikit. So I better name them as A and B. So this one is AB. A until C, I'm going to call them as AC. So what am I going to do is that firstly, I'm going to calculate what is AB first, the direction vector from A to B. And then I'm going to calculate what is the direction vector from A to C. And then once I have AB and AC, I'm going to cross those two vector to calculate the the vector product. And then I'm going to take the magnitude of them. Okay, so let us find out what is A until B or direction vector AB. Okay, so direction vector AB is always at the back minus with the one in front. So it's supposed to be OB minus with OA. So B is 2, 4, 6 minus with 1, 2, negative 2. So 2I plus 4J plus 6K minus with I plus 2J minus 2K. So the value, so you're going to minus I with I, J with J, K with K. So AB is equal to I plus 2J plus with 8K. Or normally for me, I prefer to write them down in the column form. So normally I write them down with 2, 4, 6 minus with 1, 2, negative 2. So I do find it is much more easier if I'm using this. So you can also use this column vector, or you can use I, J and K. It doesn't really matter. Biasanya saya suka column sebab saya rasa saya nampak sikit I, J and K. Nilai dia berapa. Up to me lah kan. Okay, so the value is I plus 2J plus 8K, and then we're gonna find out what is AC. So again, at the back, minus with the one in front. So AC is actually OC minus with OA. So OC, if I can write them down in the column form, so this is negative 4, 3, negative 1. And then minus with OA, 1, 2, negative 2. And then I'm going to deduct them. Negative 4, negative 1, negative 5, 3 minus 2, 1. Negative 1, positive 2. So it's supposed to be 1K. Tapi nanti jangan lupa tambah IJK lah kalau tolak-tolak tu. Okay, so what happened? So we are going to get negative 4I plus 3J minus K minus I plus 2J minus with 2K. So I minus with I, J with J, K with K. So you are going to get negative 5I plus J plus K. Okay, so I know the side vector already. So I already have the AB and I have the AC. So in order to calculate the area of the triangle, we have to calculate the cross product between AB and AC first. So let us calculate what is the cross product between AC and AB, and then take its magnitude and then times them by half. Okay, so I'm going to give you around 4 minutes for you to try to calculate what is AB cross with AC. So find out what is AB cross with AC. So do make sure to write them down in those determinant form and then calculate its determinant. Expand along the first row. Be extra careful with the plus and the minus sign. And then once you have AB cross with AC, calculate its magnitude and then don't forget to times them with 1/2. Okay, so I'll give you, I think 4 minutes is not enough. Perhaps until 4:40. If you already have the answer, you can write down the answer. Otherwise, until 4:40, I'm going to check the answer. Ingat lagi ke macam mana nak cari determinant tu? Ke dah lupa dah? Yang dulu yang kita kata tutup tu. Tutup row, tutup kolom, tutup row, tutup kolom, tutup row, tutup kolom. Yang itulah. Tiba-tiba je ada matrices kan? 2 more minutes to go. So don't forget to calculate the cross product for AB and AC first. Calculate its magnitude. So that is the second step. The third step, don't forget to times the magnitude with 1/2. So calculate the cross product, find the magnitude, times with half. Let's see how many of you get the answer by 4:40. I think we can finish the lecture a little bit early today. That is nice. .4 unit square. Okay, so one of you already got the answer. What about the rest of you? Fatin Hanis dapat 21.4. Lain macam mana? Opong pun dapat 21.4. Mukmin, Amirul Mukmin dapat 20.63. 21.81. Macam lari-lari je sikit ni. Lari sikit tu besar kemungkinan dia punya ni kot. J kot, cuba check. Dia sepatutnya I, J, K tu dia plus, minus, plus kan. So tengah-tengah tu patutnya minus. Cuba check balik lah. Izina 21.81. Apa ni? Liza Patricia ke? Tak tahu lah nak sebut nama. 21.4. Syira 21.44. Fatha 21.44. Macam 21.4 je. Let's see if everyone get the answer or not. Okay, let's see. So now we have to do the cross product. Okay, so the cross product between AB and AC. So I, J, K, 1, 2, 8, -5, 1, 1. So delete the first row and first column first. Okay, so delete first row, first column. We are going to get 2811. So 2811 I. And then minus deleting first row, second column. So it will become 18, -5, 1. So this is for J. Plus deleting first row, third column. So it will become 1, 2, -5, 1, K. And then of course we have to find the determinant of the 2 by 2. So AD times with B, AD minus with BC. So A times D, so 2 times 1, 2 minus 8. And then 1 plus with 40. And then 1 plus with 10. So 2 minus 8I minus 1 plus 40J plus 1 plus 10K. So the value for AB crossed with AC is equal to -6I, -41J plus with 11K. So I already have AB crossed with AC. So let us calculate what is its magnitude. So the magnitude is -6 square plus -41 square plus with 11 square. So this is 42.87. Of course, we need to calculate the area of the triangle. So we need to times them with half. So the area of the triangle ABC, it is equal to half. Multiply with 42.87. So the answer is 21.4 unit square. Very good. So I guess almost all of you get the answer correct. So untuk yang tak dapat jawapan tu, So sila semak balik AB cross with AC. Are you sure you get everything correct or not? So make sure you get everything correct, and then please be extra careful when you are doing this magnitude. It is supposed to be some number with a square outside. So pastikan kalau kata nombor negative to square, it doesn't become negative later on. And the same thing with this one over here, negative 41 square is supposed to be something positive. Okay, so now, one thing that you should keep in mind is that if we have a triangle of ABC, so ABC, so this one I'm using AB cross with AC. Of course, you can also do BA cross with BC, or you can do CB cross with CA. So dia mana-mana dua side lah, mana-mana pun boleh. But normally for me, if I have ABC, I always start from A. Why? I don't know. I prefer A. So AB, AC. If you want to start from B, that is also okay. So just calculate BA, BC, calculate the cross product between them, its magnitude times with half. If you start with C, CA, CB, find the cross product, find the magnitude, times with half. Okay, so I think that's it for this lecture. So we are going to do the next lecture. Okay, so now lecture 3. Okay, so saya bagi rehat 2 minit sekejap. Tarik nafas dulu. Tarik nafas, hembus. I think before 5:30 we should be able to finish them. I mean finish lecture 3 lah. I don't want to finish until lecture 5. I'm gonna go crazy if I finish everything by today. So we should finish lecture 3 today so that we can proceed with lecture 4 tomorrow. And then this coming Thursday, we are going to proceed with the last lecture so that this weekend we are going to do chapter 6, lecture 1 and lecture 2 together. Okay, siap habis. Habis lah, tarik nafas. Tarik nafas, hembus, tarik, hembus. Okay, so it's 4:45. Let's start. So this is lecture 3 out of 5. So we have already finished 5.1, 5.2, 5.3. So 5.1, that is vector in 3 dimension. 5.2, that is about the dot product. So we have learned how to do the dot product, where we are using the dot product to calculate the angle between two vectors. And then just now, we already learned about the cross product, the properties of the cross product, and how to calculate the area of the parallelogram, as well as the triangle. So now 5.4, the application of vectors in geometry. So application of vectors in geometry, so we can actually divide them into two. So the first one is the line, equation of the line, and then equation of a plane. So line and a plane. So today we are going to do something with the line first, and then tomorrow I think we have something to do with the plane. So today only about the line. Okay, so at the end of the lesson, you should be able to find the equation of a straight line and then determine the angle between two straight lines. So when we are talking about the equation of a straight line, we can have three types of equation. So we can have a vector equation. The second, we can have something called the parametric equation. The third one, we can have something called the Cartesian or the symmetry equation. Tak mat pula, symmetry. So when we are talking about the equation of a straight line, we can have either one from these three. So you can have a vector equation, you can have a parametric equation, or you can have a Cartesian or symmetry equation. And then determine the angle between two straight lines. So this one is quite easy. We are simply going to use the dot product for them. Because the formula for the dot product is A dot B equal to the magnitude of A, magnitude of B, cos theta. So in order to calculate this theta, we are simply going to use the arc cos of A dot B over the magnitude of A magnitude of B. Okay, so those are simply some synopsis orang panggil. Okay, next. Okay, so equation of a straight line. Okay, suppose that R, X, Y, Z is a point which is free to move on a line containing a fixed point A. So this is R. R is any point on the line. So this is the line. So R can be any point on this line. So R is X, Y, and Z. Containing a fixed point. So on our line, we have a fixed point called A. So the coordinate for them is X1, Y1, Z1. So this is the fixed point. Okay, so we have A, we have R. So what is V over here? Okay, so if V is a direction vector of the line, it is clear that there is a line consists precisely of those points for which the vector AR is parallel to V. Okay, so V is the direction vector of the lines. Okay, so if let's say this is A, this is V. So this is A, this is R. So V is a direction vector from A to R, and this vector is actually parallel to your line. So yang ni kena parallel lah. Okay, so if AR is parallel to V, we can actually write them as AR equal to TV. So if we refer to, I think the first lecture, where if A is parallel to B, we can actually write down A equal to KB. So we can have some constant over here, except that now we are using something called the T, some scalar T. Okay, so AR is equal to TV. So let me erase that. Okay, so how do we calculate A to R? So if we have an origin over here, so AR is actually equal to OR minus OA. And this is actually equal to TV. And then since R is any point on the line, we can actually make them as the subject. So OR is equal to OA plus with TV. Or you can write down R equal to A plus TV. So this is actually the vector equation of the line. So the vector equation of the line, R is equal to A plus TV. So I should remind you what is A. A is any fixed point on the line. So A is supposed to be a fixed point. Oh, lupa dia ada ED kat belakang. Kalau fix ni je jadi maksudnya hijau. Ada ED. Sekejap. Okay. A fixed point on the line, and then V. V is a vector such that it should be parallel to our line. Okay, so R is equal to A plus TV. A is a fixed point on our line. So this is A. And then V is a vector such that it's supposed to be parallel to our line. So we can write them down as R equal to A plus TV. So if we write them down in the form of R equal to A plus TV, so this is actually the vector equation of the line. So this is one of the equation of the line. Another one, okay, so if let's say we start with R equal to A plus TV, and then just now we say that R is equal to X, Y, Z, and A is actually the fixed point where I call them as X1, Y1, and Z1. So V is AI, BJ plus with CK. So what we can actually write down, or we can actually compare them. So if you compare this one, so this one together with this one, you can see that X on the left hand side, we got X. The coefficient of I on the right hand side, we have X1 plus with AT or TA. So X is equal to X1 plus with TA. If you compare for the J, you are going to get Y equal to Y1 plus with TP. If you compare for the K, you are going to get Z equal to Z1 plus with DC. And this one is actually called the parametric equation of the line. Why do we call them as a parametric equation? Because basically x, y, and z is in another parameter called the t. So t is the parameter. So that is why we're going to call them as the parametric equation of the line. So yang ini senang cerita, dia ada tiga lah. X, Y, Z. Okay, so let us start with the parametric equation and then making t as the subject. So I want to make t as my subject. Okay, so isolating the t or making t as the subject. So x equal to x1 plus ta, making t as the subject, we have x minus x1 over a. And then making t as the subject over here. So it will become y minus y1 over b. And then t is equal to z minus z1 over c. So everything has a t. So I can actually write them down in one line where I have x minus x1 over a is equal to y minus y1 over b equal to z minus z1 over c. And this is actually called the Cartesian or the symmetry equation of the line. Cartesian or symmetry equation of the line. Okay, so now we have three equation of the line. Let me do a bit of recap. Three equation of the line. So we have a vector equation of the line, we have parametric equation of the line, and then we have the Cartesian or the symmetry equation of the line. Okay, so now example 1. Find the vector equation, the parametric equation, and the Cartesian equation of the line passing through 1, -2, 3. So as long as the line passing through one point. So this point is actually called the fixed point because we know the line passing through one point. So this is actually the fixed point in the direction of, so we have this direction. So that means this is actually our direction vector, or we're going to call them as the V. So we have A, we have V. So let us see what is the vector equation of the line. Do you remember the formula? So A is equal to I minus 2j plus 3k. V is 4i plus 5j minus 6k. So the vector equation of the line R is equal to A plus dV. Okay, so R will stay as R. And then A, you got to substitute the A. T will stay as T. That is a parameter. If you don't like T, you can actually use another letter for them. You can use lambda, you can use gamma, you can use mu, nu, whatever you want to use. Tapi janganlah pakai huruf yang sama, pakai huruf yang berbeza sikit. Biasanya orang guna T je. It's easier, right? If you are using T. Okay, so now substitute the A, substitute the V. So R is equal to I minus 2j plus with 3k plus T 4i plus with 5j minus with 6k. And this is actually the vector equation of the line. Done. Okay, so now once we have the vector equation of the line, in order to get the parametric equation, the R, I have to change them into xi plus yj plus with zk. And then I'm going to compare the coefficient for the I on left hand side, right hand side, coefficient for the j, coefficient of the k. Okay, let us proceed. Okay, so before this we have, let me go back to here, I minus 2j plus with 3k plus t 4i plus 5j minus with 6k. So sebelum saya jump pergi kat situ, better saya tukar dulu, saya pergi pening kepala. Okay, so this is xi plus y plus with zk. Alah, dia tak bagi saya tulis line kat bawah lah. Macam mana? Oops. Uyuh, apa ni? Asal tiba-tiba dia ada ni? Okay. Nah, tak apalah. Aci dia tu. Okay. Ayuh, so annoying. Apakah yang berlaku? Alah, hack je lah. Okay. And then on the right hand side, I'm gonna collect the like term for the I. So I have 1 plus with 4t I, and then plus. So over here I have negative 2. This is 5t J. So saya letak bentuk hat dia tak bagi saya buat line kat bawah lah. Tak cukup space kot. And then this one is 3 minus 6t K. Okay, so what do we do next is that we're going to compare I on the left, I on the right, J on the left, J on the right, and then K on the left, K on the right. So we're going to compare. So X will be equal to 1 plus 4t, Y is equal to negative 2 plus with 5t, and Z will be equal to 3 minus 6t. And that is the parametric equation of the line. And then you're going to let the t as the subject. So let the t as the subject, bring 1 to the left, so x minus 1 over 4, y plus 2 over 5, z minus 3 over negative 6. And you simply let them to be equal. So from parametric to Cartesian, making t as the subject. Oops. Okay, so making t as the subject, you are going to get x minus 1 over 4 equal to y plus 2 over 5 equal to z minus 3 over negative 6. And that is actually the Cartesian equation of the line. Okay, next. Right, so example 2, give point A and B. Find a vector equation of the line passing through point A and B. Okay, so we have a line. So a line, and then we have point A, we have point B. Okay, so do you guys remember what is the formula for the vector equation of the line? Okay, so saya jawab, saya tanya, saya jawab Vector equation of the line. The formula is R equal to A plus dV, where A is any fixed point on the line. So this is fixed point. And V is actually a direction vector or a vector such that it's supposed to be parallel to our line. V parallel to line, ataupun kita boleh panggil dia sebagai direction vector lah. Mana-mana je lah. Okay, so I have 2 points A and B. So that means I can choose any of them as the fixed point because both of them actually on the line. So I can choose any of them as the fixed point. And V is actually the direction vector. So I have point A and point B. So I need to obtain the direction vector from A until B. So I have to calculate A, B. So how we get the vector A, B? So it's supposed to be something at the back minus with something in front. So OB minus OA. Okay, so that one will become the V. And then we're going to simply calculate or substitute into the formula, and then that will be the vector equation. Okay, so now calculate AB first. Okay, so V is equal to AB, so calculate AB. So that is OB minus with OA. So B is 4, negative 1, 2. So 4I minus J plus with 2K minus OA is 131. So I plus 3J plus with K. And then you minus them. So this is 3I minus with 4J plus with K. So that is actually your V. So based on the vector equation of the line, we already have fixed point. So for this one, I'm choosing point A as my fixed point. You can choose B, that doesn't really matter. Okay, so any fixed point will do. Okay, so I'm choosing point A. So my A is I plus 3J plus K. And the vector is 3I minus 4J plus K. And then now I'm going to substitute into R equal to A plus dV. Okay, so A, I plus 3J plus K plus D, 3I minus 4J plus with K. So that the vector equation of the line. Kalau kita buka compare nanti jadi parametric. Kalau jadikan T sebagai subjek, dapat Cartesian. Okay, next. The angle between two straight line. Okay, so if we are given two straight line, how can we calculate the angle between two straight line? Okay, so the angle between two straight line is actually equal to the angle between direction vector of the line. So if you have two line, do make sure to take out what is the direction vector for both line, and then we're gonna calculate what is the angle between those two vector. Okay, so suppose that the vector equation of the two straight lines. So the first one, R1 is equal to A1 plus with dV1. R2 is equal to A2 plus with SV2. So S ni adalah parameter yang baru lah. Tadi parameter yang pertama adalah T, bukan parameter I'm using S. Okay, so now we need to take out what is the direction vector. So the formula R equal to A plus dV. So V is actually the direction vector. So from R1, the direction vector is V1. From R2, the direction vector is V2. Okay, so R1, R2. Okay, so theta is actually the angle between two straight line. So we got two vector over here. So V1, V2, and we want to calculate the angle between those two vector. Okay, so we are going to use the scalar product. So this is not the magnitude. So this one is actually the modulus. But V1 and V2, the symbol is actually for the magnitude. They look almost similar. They are different thing, you know. Those tiang gold tu on the left hand side, those are modulus. That mean if I know what is the value for V1 dot with V2, I want to get only positive value of them. So I don't want any negative, because if we have two vector, we can either get an acute angle or an obtuse angle. So I want to let them to be always acute angle. So V1 dot with V2, I want to put a modulus sign for them or an absolute value for that, so that the value is always positive. So on the right hand side, that is actually the magnitude. So we have to calculate the magnitude of V1, calculate the magnitude of V2, and then times them with the cos theta. So theta over here is actually the angle between V1 and V2, and that is actually what we want to find. Okay, so cos theta is equal to the modulus of V1 dot with V2 over magnitude of V1, magnitude of V2. Okay, so the angle between two straight line, theta is equal to the arc cos of the modulus of V1 dot with V2 over the magnitude V1 magnitude V2. Okay, so example 3. Find the angle between two straight line. R1 is equal to 2i plus 2j minus with 4k plus ti plus 3j minus with 3k, and R2 is I plus j plus k plus s I plus 2j minus with 4k. Okay, so we want the angle between two straight lines. So do make sure to take out what is the direction vector for each line, and then we're going to calculate what is the angle for the direction vector of each line. Okay, so the formula for equation of a line is R equal to A plus dV. So I simply need to find a vector times with the parameter. So for R1, this one is going to be direction vector. So I'm going to call them as V1. Why? Because this is R1. So that one will be V1. And then I plus 2j minus 4k. So this one, I'm going to call them as V2. Again, why? Because this is R2. So saya guna V2 lah. Nak pakai A dengan B pun boleh juga. Okay, so now I have V1, I have V2. So I need to calculate what is the dot product between them. And then I need to calculate its magnitude. Their magnitude, of course. So I have to calculate the magnitude of V1, calculate the magnitude of V2, and then I need to substitute into the formula. Okay, so V1 is I plus 3j minus with 3k. V2 is I plus 2j minus with 4k. And then we're going to do the dot product. So I plus with 3j minus 3k dot with I plus 2j minus with 4k. So do you guys remember how to do the dot product? Okay, so I normally write them down in a column format. So I have 1, 3, negative 3, dotted with 1, 2, negative 4. So what we are going to do is take the I times with the I plus J times with the J plus K times with the K. So 1 plus 6 plus with 12. So 1 plus 6 plus 12. So this one 7, 7, 12, 19. So the answer is 19. So that is V1 dot V2. So now we are going to calculate the magnitude of V1 and the magnitude of V2. So the magnitude, square root x square, y square, z square plus everything. Okay, so V1, the magnitude of V1 is the square root of 1 square plus 3 square plus negative 3 square. So again, be careful. You need to write down the negative inside some bracket first before you square them. So 1 plus 9 plus 9, 1 tambah 9, 10, 10 tambah 9, 19. So square root of 19. And then V2, 1 square plus 2 square plus negative 4 square. Again, negative 4 should be inside one bracket first before you square them. So 1 tambah 4, 5, 5 tambah 16, 21. So this is the square root of 21. Okay, so now we're going to substitute into the formula for the dot product. V1 dot with V2 equal to the magnitude of V1, magnitude of V2 cos theta. So again, I remind you, these two on the right hand side, those are the magnitude. This one on the left hand side, it's simply the modulus. Why is it a modulus? I simply don't want to get something that is an obtuse angle. So I only want a positive, an acute angle. So that's the reason why I simply write down a modulus for them. Okay, so done with that. So now what else? We're going to substitute the value in. So I have the value now. So let us substitute. So this is 19 equal to square root of 19, square root of 21 cos theta. And then we are going to make theta as our subject because that is the angle between V1 and V2. And theta is actually equal to 18 degree. Okay, so I skip a few steps over here, or you can do cos theta equal to 19 over square root of 19 square root of 21. So that means theta is equal to the arc cos of 19 over square root of 19 square root of 21. Then you use your calculator. Don't forget, for chapter 5, we didn't use a radian, we use degree. So pastikan jawapan dalam degree, kan radian. Okay, so theta is equal to 18 degree. So 18 dalam acute angle lah. Yang cantik sikit, acute angle. Okay, next. Berikut, next. Habis dah. Last one. Done. Okay, so we are done with the 2 lecture. So that means I'll see you guys tomorrow then. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a nice day, everyone.